Hey everybody, what's going on? Rob Sestrino here. This is part 2 of our top 40 countdown look at Survivor Africa, the 21st, the best season of Survivor. If you are just, everybody's just joining us. But if you are confused, we talked about part 1 of Survivor Africa earlier. That is up in your podcast feed or at robiswebsite.com if you missed any of the first part of our discussion of Survivor Africa, where we talked about the season as a whole and the entire pre-merge of Survivor Africa. But here now with me to talk some more about Survivor Africa, talk about the whole post-merge reunion show and your questions, our esteemed panel of Survivor Africa experts. Still with us, Lindsay Wilson. Lindsay, how are you?
Doing very well. This is very fun so far. I'm very excited to talk about the
so
second
far
half.
So good. And then also Haley Strong. Haley, how have you been?
I'm surprised you didn't pull a tribe swap on us and get Kirsten McInnes and Mary Kwiatkowski in to replace me and Lindsay.
To replace you?
How dare you?
For the back half.
They'd throw the podcast and vote me out. That'd be very foolish.
Would you have been really mad at us and been like, who voted for me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Although it was pretty obvious who voted for you, I think.
Yeah, in that scenario, for sure. Okay. All right, so we had a lot of fun talking about the pre-merge of Survivor Africa, but let's get into the real nitty-gritty here of what's going to happen in the post-merge game. We've been talking a lot about Clarence, of course, who is going to be on Talking with T-Bird later on this weekend. But Clarence almost went out of the world in a very embarrassing way. The chicken hit differently for Clarence on day 20 or day 19 here. And he went out to go do his business, and then he ultimately looks up and there's like elephants standing around.
Yeah, he says like, wow, that would have been an embarrassing way to go out.
Yeah. Hang in there, Clarence. Yeah. Look, he's like very focused in on what he's doing here.
He also told a story in his quarantine questionnaire in which when his mom picked him up from the airport, he had McDonald's and a very similar reaction happened to him. Less elephants this time, though.
That's interesting, where he had been out of the game for, at that point, 3 weeks.
Great point. I did not think of that.
Yeah. So,
but still probably not back on McDonald's by that point.
Yeah. Not loving it. Okay. All right. We're going to start to get a lot of waiting, Lindsay. Like Survivor felt like, oh, they're really going to mess with them. They think they're going to merge on day 19. We're going to merge on day 20.
Yeah, and they were like, oh, we're so ready. And Tom makes some comparison with like, oh, it's like when you're waiting for the bus and the bus doesn't come. And like they're just sitting around really thinking that maybe it's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're going to merge. Like, I don't know why the Survivor producers are like, ooh, this will be good television. Instead of giving them what they're waiting for, we'll make them wait a day and do nothing.
Let's give Lex time to make an Uber spoon and make a weird scene about it.
Yeah. Lindsay, what's so great about an Uber spoon?
I don't know. Lex seems to think it's good because it's the ultimate spoon. He's really busting out the dad voice here where he's like, do you know what Uber means, Tom? Mm-hmm. It hasn't been invented yet, but it's a ride-sharing app.
Yeah. Haley, do you think there's anything wrong with current spoons that the Uber spoon needed to be invented?
I think Lex is overlooking the knife spoon fork, which is a really great invention where it's a knife, a spoon, and a fork all in one.
What's that called?
A knife, spoon, fork.
Knife, spoon, fork. Because of that, I mean, I'm no Frank Garrison, but a spoon and a fork is a spork.
Sure, but what are you going to call it? A spork? A spork? A spork?
Where's the knife part?
Attached to the fork.
Is it on the handle?
No. So I think it's the spoon and the fork aren't together as a traditional spork. But the fork has a little serrated edge, which hurts your mouth. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. That's wild. That's wild.
You need the fork to like hold down whatever you're cutting.
Yeah, that's one
I don't
bridge too far
count.
for me. Yeah,
I don't know. Okay.
I don't
One
need a
utensil
Swiss
too many.
Army knife in my mouth. Okay. Yeah, you you, you didn't ask that. If you only asked if you could, you didn't ask if you should. With the knife, spoon, fork. All right. Let's talk about our great immunity challenge here. Endurance for the Merge tribe. I really like this aquamarine color, Haley, of the Merge buff.
Beautiful. Beautiful color.
I feel like we never see it again in Survivor.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Underrated color.
This is a really nice color. Anyway, so hold your hand up in the air and then don't let the bucket of water fall on you.
Yeah, this
Okay.
is one of the ones where, like, when Jeff brings out all the snacks, he actually gives it to the people who are already out of the challenge. He doesn't go
Yeah,
for that nonsense now.
what's up
Except
with
for the
that?
chicken at the end where he just
Yeah,
left it there.
Mm-hmm.
in the sun.
Yeah, that really is wild. I noticed that again when I was watching this of like, hey, anybody here want this? Okay, you don't want it? Okay, so gonna give it to all these people that are not sitting. Like, it's such an incentive to be out of the challenge. To like, and maybe that's what they're going for. Of like, oh, that'll make more people quit. Oh, you get a bunch of food if you're not in the challenge.
Yeah, they get like a burger and they get the undercooked pizza. They get something else. I feel like there are 3 things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, do you think the pizza really was undercooked, or do you think that Kelly was just trying to make them feel better?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought maybe it was the latter, but then she's like holding up like dough. I don't know. It's pretty gross.
Yeah. Okay. Survivor still struggles with pizza.
Yeah. Haven't fixed it
It's
in 20
not that
years.
hard either. Like it's
Yeah.
not that difficult to make.
Yeah,
I love when T-Bird sings here also.
it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So wholesome, that T-Bird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm here for it. I remember this episode. I believe it aired on Thanksgiving in the real time. I was the only loser, like in my like aunt's basement, watching Survivor by himself.
Yeah, we don't celebrate Thanksgiving at the same time as you.
Mm-hmm. But you could imagine it.
Theoretically.
Yeah, we just don't remember.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're
think
very
this
young
was,
and
like-
fresh. We don't remember what was going on in October of 2000.
Mm-hmm.
This was
It's November.
notable. Yeah.
Well, no, our
notable 'cause it's,
Thanksgiving
like-
is October.
Mhm. This is one of the only musical moments that isn't like cut for copyright things, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, is this public domain?
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't like. You probably have to buy the rights to Annie if you're going to put on the show, right?
I don't know.
Also, Rob got T-Bird to sing this at the end of her Second Chances interview.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I thought it was such a appropriate song of that. Okay, well, T-Bird, the best was yet to come for T-Bird, and while I was incorrect that it was going to be her Survivor Second Chances appearance, I guess I was right in her talking with T-Bird Legacy, which was yet to come.
Yeah,
She has a great time.
such a great time.
Yeah.
She's here for a good time and a long time.
I mean, Haley, that interview that you mentioned about like where I talked to T-Bird about her Second Chances campaign, like I hadn't talked to T-Bird in, 14 years. Like what year was that? 2015. So, 12, 13 years probably since I had talked to her. So yeah. And then we said it got reconnected.
Yeah, and I just remember that interview so well because it was just so warm and she was just so excited to be talking to you because you could just tell she was such a big fan too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm glad she never lost like any of that sparkle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, she is such a special person that I'm very lucky to have in my life, and she brings like a lot of light into the world, T-Bird.
Yeah.
Yeah, sparkle is such a good word, Haley, where I feel like that's just like the word to characterize T-Bird. She's just so sparkly. So wonderful.
Ultimately, T-Bird, where did you go? 6 hours here, Lindsay?
6 hours with her arm up.
So
Like,
I miss these challenges. I miss where it's just like stick your arm up, have a great time. Like I know it's not probably the best TV, but I love it. So who wants it more? That's
who wants it more? Exactly.
That's the baseline. Who wants it more?
Yeah. And T-Bird and Clarence ultimately do rock, paper, scissors to determine who's going to give out in the challenge. Do we like this?
I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I feel like you came 6 hours. Why are you going to do rock, paper, scissors now?
Yeah. I feel like Clarence is really
chicken going bad in the sun.
Yeah, true. Clarence is the one really pushing for a deal. Like T-Bird's just like, no, you're trying to trick me. I don't like it. And then she's not trying to make these same deals. It seems like she's just prepared to stay up there for the rest of her life. Clarence seems much more interested in.
Yeah, do you think that for Clarence at that point it was like it's a win-win? Either I'm going to get to eat this chicken, or I am going to get immunity here. So let's just like cut to the chase here. Let's flip a coin now at this point.
And I don't think he had any reason to think that he was going to get voted out. Like, it seems like a no-brainer that they'd go for the Samburus instead
That's
of
a good question to ask him did he think that is his name, he was on the chopping block at all?
Yeah, before Lex told him.
Yeah. All right. So congratulations. T-Bird wins the first individual immunity. I think that's going to be her only immunity win or challenge win in the season, but it's a good one. And then we go back and we have a merge feast. Hey, like kind of a cruddy, crappy merge feast.
I have like no recollection of this merge feast. Like, what was there? What happened?
Just like cheese and crack.
Like, what food was there? Like, I just
yeah, lame merge feast.
Not a thrilling one, that's for sure.
I feel like I never.
They did get bottles of wine, which they just like each took a swig of and passed it around.
Ellie, in fairness, this was pre-COVID. Yeah.
But it wasn't. But it was still after like 20 days of not brushing your teeth.
Yeah, still not.
Yeah,
great.
the alcohol kills the bacteria.
So I've heard.
Yeah, it's basically like Purell.
You know what? You're right. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think of when they get like start to have like a good merge feast. I don't even know if they had.
Was there one in Survivor All Stars, Rob?
I don't know. I
what
presume there was.
Was there one?
There was. We had a solid merge feast. Yeah, there was
like
hot dogs and hamburgers. Yeah.
A question for you.
Yeah.
Would you rather a nice cold fridge of Coca-Cola or Mountain Dew?
Oh, we didn't even talk about the Mountain Dew reward in the pre-merge, but yeah, I would much rather have a Coca-Cola than a Mountain Dew.
Great choice.
Yeah.
Mountain Dew is just like, no wonder they all felt terrible.
Yeah.
Lindsay, Mountain Dew is featured prominently here in Survivor Africa.
Yeah, and also in Survivor the Australian Outback.
Yeah. Boy, that really the last thing they should be giving these Survivor contestants.
Pure sugar, you're gonna feel like
Snickers bar and a Mountain Dew. I can't imagine a truly worse combo.
Yeah, I think in the Australian Outback they give them a reward of Doritos and Mountain Dew. Here, like the Mountain Dew is like part of like another reward where at least it's the beverage along with like some actual food.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, but
I just for as hungry as I would be, and as much as I enjoy eating, I would really have to approach certain things and be like, no, I'm not doing this. Like the coffee bar reward in Amazon. No, I'm not going with that. Sounds like I'm going to be high on caffeine.
You think they had a cronut there?
Yes, I do. And my stomach would die. I would have one sip of coffee and be on the ground.
Like
dying.
Clarence?
Yes, very much so. Again, I have a weak stomach. So some of these challenges, like even the what's it called with the money?
Auction.
Yeah, the auction. Like Kim Powers spending all of her money on an ice cream sundae, as much as I would eat an ice cream sundae, made me want to puke thinking about how empty I would be in having to eat an ice cream sundae.
What Ethan with just the jar of chocolate? Like, not good.
my teeth hurt thinking about it.
Yeah,
we'll get there.
more auction talk to come. Just a little tease of auction talk. We get to a wild game of never have I ever.
Yeah. This is a glorious moment. This is where I actually first wrote down Frank seems like a really tough hang. He's like, so how do you play this game? Like, it has to be something true. And he's like, oh, well, I've never broken the honor of a handshake. And then when he gets the crickets, everybody's like, oh, yeah, no, I respect that. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Good job, Frank.
I was scandalized at the idea of airplane intercourse at the age of 10, at the age of 20, and at the age of 30.
Yeah, you go back to it every 10 years.
I'm like,
Still not good.
No,
T-Bird says she's had sex in an airplane.
What a sly gal.
Oh my god.
You don't think that's still happening, do you?
I mean,
that T-Bird is still committed
No,
to sex on an airplane? Or just like
questions.
Anybody.
Yes, absolutely, it's still happening.
It's still happening?
I mean, I'm not by.
You're not even supposed to take your mask off.
You don't have to take your mask off, Rob.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Incredible.
Yeah. People are wilding out. Knock it off, everybody. Get a room.
Oh my god.
And not the airplane lavatory, please.
Not the air. That's not what it's for. The seatbelt sign on this flight. Knock it off.
Masks on, seatbelts on.
Okay.
Bad time had by all.
Yeah. All right. Frank saw an elephant. Haley, did you feel like that the elephant thought Frank was another elephant?
No, I thought the elephant also thought Frank was a tough hang and got out of there.
Like, bye.
Yeah. No brunch? Okay, I'm just gonna
About
heard you guys don't have an ostrich egg anymore. Gone.
Yeah.
Do you think an ostrich egg to an elephant is like a regular egg to us?
Definitely.
Something
great question.
To mull over.
Yeah. We'll think about it. All right. So sort of out of nowhere, we just get like word, all right, the vote is going to be Clarence tonight. Lex is going to take him aside and tell him what's up. Not personal, just the game.
Yeah, Clarence really doesn't push back against this at all.
Yeah.
If I was Clarence, I'd be like, are you punking me, miss? Are you punking me? I feel like Clarence took it too well almost. You should have been like, what's wrong with you?
Well, this is going to be a thing that we're going to see consistently from Lex over these next couple of seasons, where Lex does not do a lot of blindsides. In fact, I've watched all 2 of Lex's seasons, so that's going to be a wrap for Lex here in the top 40 countdown. I'm trying to think if he ever votes somebody out without telling him or her. So in this season, I don't if he said something to Diane or Jesse, we didn't see it. And I'm not sure if they tipped off Lindsay about what was going on. So in the pre-merge, it's unclear. But I guess he's not going to tell Kelly because she, I guess, has violated like the code of ethics.
He sort of tells her, though. He says like something essentially to the effect of like our alliance is dissolved or something, which is what leads to her then going to him.
He casts a vote for Frank on the vote for Brandon goes home, but I think that maybe he feels like that Frank deserves it. He seems like he's really soured on Frank. Could be the tough hang.
Did he sweep to Frank?
I don't know. But in Survivor All-Stars, it's going to come up a lot also. I don't think he tells Hatch before. Like Hatch gets a blindside.
He gets bamboozled.
Yeah, he gets bamboozled. And then I think that he doesn't say anything to Tom, but I think that Tom knew what was up at the end. But so this is a thing that we're going to see a lot. So he's going to tell Clarence what's up. Clarence doesn't really scramble too much, but Clarence and T-Bird have an arrangement. T-Bird won't write down Clarence's name.
Oh, I was worried about what kind of arrangement they have.
Nope.
A very innocent one.
Very innocent one to not ever write down Clarence's name.
It's weird though. Like I mean, I get that they're trying to say like Clarence is going to be an immunity threat down the line, and we got to get rid of him. But like this feels very risky.
Yeah.
Like, You don't have that much of an edge at this point.
You know what? Just in thinking it through, like I do think that Clarence was a victim of that. He did not have anybody on Baran who was really vouching for him.
Yeah.
Where you had like Frank and T-Bird who had sort of like garnered some goodwill, and T-Bird is also immune, but they had garnered some goodwill with Ethan and with Kim Johnson of like working with them and throwing Silas under the bus. So I think that Ethan and Kim Johnson were like, no, try the T-Bird and Frank. They're good. And Lex and Tom just had been at the camp with Brandon and Kim Powers, and they were probably like vouching for them. Like, no, they're good people. We can work with them. And I think that just Clarence really doesn't have like an advocate in his corner of saying oh no, we need to keep Clarence around.
Yeah, needed a buddy.
But it sucks because he would have been loyal to them.
Yeah, I mean, where's he going?
Yeah.
It's the same sort of idea, like where, when Lex votes out Colby in Survivor All-Stars, or, right before the merge, where it's like, where's Colby going?
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's not like Clarence knew, Frank and, he's been with Frank and T-Bird, but it's not like that, he's going to all of a sudden start working with Brandon and Kim Powers.
Yeah, no, it's a weird choice, and obviously the next vote's going to be even more risky. But
yeah, all right, but the damage is done. Okay, 2 votes here for Lex, and I'm sure more on this with Clarence when we speak with him later on this week. And interesting. Okay, 2 votes. Haley, Lex is shooketh.
He absolutely loses his mind.
Yeah.
In a way, I'm sorry. I don't think he deserves to get to lose his mind that much. I think he gets to be curious about it.
He will not live
inquisitive, but he will not. He's truly angry.
Yeah, comes off as very entitled here.
Yeah. What do you think it is, Lindsay? Is it that there is sort of like somebody in the like somebody who has not named themselves who cast a vote, or the fact that now he has 2 previous votes cast against him?
Yeah, so I think it's a combination of both. Like what I was thinking when watching this is that this is just like a fancier version of like, who the hell voted for me?
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what it is. I don't even think it's either of the 2 things you said. I think it's like he feels like he shouldn't be voted for because he's like the number 1 guy in this group.
Yeah, like Kelly calls it out.
Of Survivor Africa.
Yeah. Do you think that Lex was
just both over your head say no Vanderpump Rules fans in the building today?
Yeah.
Just like, yes, Haley.
Yeah, we only know Vanderberg pump rules here.
Oh no.
So do you think that Lex was mad at Clarence voted for him?
I don't think so. He said he kind of gets it. Like, I think he's upset that now he has a vote against him, but he said like he kind of understands it. But then he says like, and now this other person chooses to hide. And I just like that Kelly is like, no, this is all ego, and this is just him being pissed that someone voted for him.
Haley, should Lex have been able to suss out that it was T-Bird?
He should have been, but I think T-Bird was pretty good at lying about it.
Because the person who did it like had to have had some interaction with Clarence. Like, I feel like that you could rule out a couple of the suspects.
Yeah, but again, Lex's gut does not lead him in any good direction.
Yeah, it's weird that he never really suspects any of the Samburu people. He just immediately is like, well, I know it wasn't you, and I know it wasn't Frank, and I, for some reason, know it wasn't Brandon.
Yeah. We don't know what kind of relationship Kelly Goldsmith had with Clarence in the pre-merge. I will say one other thing from the clip show, which is also hilarious. Clarence has a very funny scene in the bonus episode where it's all about Clarence's luxury item. Haley, do you know what it is by any chance?
No.
His luxury item is war paint.
Oh, that makes sense. He was wearing a lot of war paint.
And he wears a lot of war paint, and that there is a running concern among a lot of the players from Baran that Clarence is very vain, and he looks at himself in the mirror and applies his war paint too much.
There's a whole moment where they're like, "Oh, if this was a woman with makeup, we'd vote her out," and like that's not acceptable. I'm like, "Oh,
Really?
oh yeah."
Are you serious? Are you guys
Yes.
punking me?
No, completely
That's-
serious.
That's truly one of the stupidest things I've ever heard in my entire life.
They also seem to take offense.
Seems like they hate Clarence for another reason. Feels like they're just coming up with reasons to hate on Clarence.
Yeah.
They also did not like that Clarence used the war paint to add definition to his abdominal area.
That's funny.
He's like drawing on his six pack.
Ab
He's
contour.
extremely defined already.
Yeah. How about
I
Brian
love that
Gumbel?
for him.
I know.
Brian Gumbel awards Clarence the best six-pack ever award at the reunion show.
He tries to get Kim to do it and show her.
Yeah, she's like, wearing a dress. What are you doing?
Oh
What is
my
wrong with
God.
you, sir?
And we never saw him again.
Yeah, that was it. That was it. All right. But all right, Lex is on the warpath. Who voted for Lex? Brandon has a good line that makes me wish I did. Lex needs to know so he can vote them out next.
Oh, okay. Sure. Yep. Seems absolutely reasonable.
Yeah, it seems like someone's going to come forward on that basis.
But we get a break from the witch hunt of who voted for Lex, and we get a famous reward challenge here, where you have to jump on a plank and basically shoot stuff into a basket. Ethan is going to win. He picks Lex. Maybe that'll calm him down. Lex can go on the reward with Ethan into the town.
Because he came in second. It's my only reason. No other reason.
That's it. That's it. That's the only reason that there is why you pick Lex. And so, Haley, people give Ethan like a lot of stuff to take with him to the marketplace.
Yeah. Pearl Island's cast wishes they had that kind of stuff to give to. Actually, they did do some bartering with their personal belongings, so sorry about that. I mean, I guess it's like Reebok branded stuff that they just gave you, so it's not like you care that much about it.
Yeah, it's not cold, so sure, take a lot of this stuff. But
I do love a trinket, so
a lot of pressure of like, this is all you got? I gave you my sunglasses.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got to keep it all straight too. Like this hat wants a bracelet.
Yeah.
And this hat wants something sweet.
As a kid, this seemed like a lot of fun. Like, but as an adult, I would hate to do this and like have to barter. Like, I'd rather just go have a good time, get my plate of fries, go on home.
Yeah,
I don't want to have to work for my reward. I already worked for it.
Yeah. So they go into town and they flip the goat for some French fries. They call these French fries, Lindsay, but were they made out of potato?
Yeah, they looked more like, because they said at one point they were like, "Oh, you can get chapati with this," and then it looks kind of like.
We have a food expert here, Haley. What were these fries? If it's not potato, are they fries?
Yeah, because you get yuca fries and they're not potatoes, but they're still fries.
Didn't this look like it was like a dough that they were like looked like sort of like a pancake?
Yeah, like when they were served, they looked almost like nachos or something. Like it's like a big plate.
What'd you think, Haley?
I thought they were fries. I thought I saw them like throw like strips of things into the oil.
Yeah.
Are you thinking it's more of like a spatzel?
It looked like they had like a dough that was like a flattened round dough.
Like he definitely rolled out chapatis, and like they showed that very distinctly.
I wonder if that was like a different thing that they were cutting. Like if that was just like B-roll.
Maybe that was somebody else's order.
Yeah, maybe
at the restaurant.
Because it definitely looked like fries to me. I thought it was fries.
Yeah. After a trip to the little boys' room for Ethan, we have some fun.
Again, I buy that happening.
100%.
Yeah. No other season, I think, explores the bathroom habits of the contestants like Survivor Africa does.
This felt very like overly invasive and kind of intimate to be like, let us go in first and show you what it looks like. And now I'm showing you the door while Ethan's in there.
It's like, Ethan, can you hold on a quick sec while we record this? And he's like, I can't hold on a sec. Or do you think they had to go in after? And Ethan's like,
Yeah, I'm not sure. Either
will you
way,
text him and ask him?
what's the question? What's the question?
Did they do the bathroom strut before or after he went in?
I feel like that's more of like I need to work my way into that one. I don't think I can.
You don't
just
have a
come
relationship with
Okay.
him, or you could just text him random questions like that.
You start with, were they real fries? And then what did they do to you?
Yes, great. Oh,
Yeah.
you're good. Lindsay.
Maybe
You're
this
so
is,
good.
maybe in the light of day, maybe this is like a better text chain.
Yeah, it's weird at like close to midnight to ask someone about their bathroom experiences
from 20 years ago.
from 20 years ago.
Yeah. All right. So, but Ethan, he's out hanging out with all the kids. He's doing the hacky sack. Do you think that the kid who has Ethan's hacky sack kept it?
Yeah. No, I mean, he probably doesn't still have it, but I'm sure he played with it for a while.
Like, do you think that young man even knows that this was part of a TV show Survivor?
Definitely
the person that gave it to him won?
No,
Or do you
he's
think
just
he
like,
threw
"This
it
is
away the
cool."
next day? Yeah.
He left it there that afternoon.
Yeah. But this is going to be a very moving experience for Ethan. It's going to be that Ethan will talk about this often when he talks about starting grassroots soccer. So this is going to be like a huge moment, not just in the series, but also in the life of Ethan Song.
Great moment for the winter montage.
Yeah, I was going to wear my grassroots soccer shirt for this panel tonight, but it's packed.
I can't believe that was one of your long-term items.
Yeah, I put it away. So one day I'll be reunited with it. So then we start to see some like strategery moving back at camp about people talking about trying to make a move. T-Bird, she doesn't stop. She's thinking.
Yeah,
she's one of the best strategic players in the early seasons of the game.
Yeah, well, she doesn't give up. And they also don't look at her as being like super schemy.
Yeah. And in the TUS too, Rob, I know you and Josh had mentioned like for the other fifth placers we've had before, we had like Elizabeth and I guess Roger was in fifth and then like Sean and then you got T-Bird. Like she just fought so much harder.
Yeah. And she did it in a way where it wasn't like that they're like, hey, we have to like, you see Lex is like anybody that goes against me has to go. And T-Bird, who is like at times like quite openly like working to subvert the Baran side of things, she somehow ends up being the last of the Samburu standing.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, she hangs in there.
Yeah. She wins everybody over constantly, even though she's trying very hard to, upset this whole Baran alliance. So there's some talk about, did Kelly say the words free agent, Haley?
I don't know. I only remember the brunch conversation.
Yeah. Was that in this? That was, I think, was that the previous episode, the brunch conversation?
Yeah,
They're
I think that
all blurring together. I watched all of these in a very short amount of time.
Yes.
They're all one episode to me.
Sure. If you watch them all at once, is Survivor one episode?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched this in a short time too, and it really made me empathize with you, Rob. This is you watched a lot of Survivor.
20 weeks in a row, Lindsay.
Yeah, 1 week I was like, man, that's a lot of TV to watch.
Yeah, we have a backlog of shows now.
Sorry about that. I will say though, and I've talked about this, that I do watch at like accelerated speeds. I do think that 1.5 X does Survivor Africa is really like
goes down real easy on 1.5.
That's the stuff. If you feel like these older seasons are playing a little slow, speed it up a little bit.
Can you give me an impression of T-Bird singing The Sun Will Come Out Tomorrow on 1.5 speed?
The sun will come out tomorrow, but bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun. A little bit faster.
A little faster. Okay,
Yeah.
now mouth trumpeted at 1.5 speed.
Oh my god, what a talent.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's complaining about 2 parts of this?
No
Come
one.
Come on.
This is.
You're listening to this on 1.5x.
100%.
Yeah, that's really
I
going to
have
mess
never
people up
listened to a
now.
podcast
Yeah,
on
yeah.
1.5x.
That I mean, if you were listening on 1.5x, what does that make? That was mouth trumpet at like a 2.25x.
Wow, good math.
Think about it. Yeah, it's a lot
Would
going
it be?
on. I'm not
Sounds right.
sure.
We're
I'm
adding
not sure.
50%.
Mhm. This is like a Big Brother HOH tiebreaker at this point.
Yeah, it's fine. It's faster. It's good.
Okay. So there's some
It's
talk.
3.
So it's 3x. Oh my
Like
god.
you're not going 1.5 times 1.5, right?
No, I did 1.5 times 2. Is that what I'm
We're
supposed to
gonna
do?
get so many
Or is
Twitter
it 1.5
replies.
to the
Yeah, why
power
were
of
you doing
Oh, it's gonna be
1.5?
so annoying. Oh,
I said in the first part, I'm not good at math, so
yeah.
I was foreshadowing.
Mhm. All right. Lex insists his gut is good. Brandon is in. Kelly Goldsmith is out of the alliance. And then on top of that, Lindsay, he tells her.
Yeah, no, it makes 0 sense. Like the thing that is the most damning about this, in my opinion, is that like Lex knows he's the only one who has previous votes, and he is now setting himself up perfectly for a 4-4 in the next round, and he's going to get kicked off in that. So like, what is he thinking?
There's so much questions about like, hey, are you 100% loyal to me and this alliance that we made? Like there's like so many points where it's like, does it matter? Like especially like with Big Tom, like at the final 4, it's like, where is Big Tom going? Why do people need to like have such like I demand like your full allegiance at this point?
Yeah, it's like you might have maybe talked to someone about potentially agreeing to vote me out 6 votes ago, and then you didn't, but I'm still mad about it. Baffling.
Yeah. Complicated relationships in Survivor Africa.
Yeah.
So yeah, T-Bird really got this going, and Kelly is ready to vote against Baran. Brandon is the big swing vote.
Yeah.
And
Also
it's
makes
like,
no sense.
Here we go, Haley. All right, we're gonna see the biggest move in the history of the show, and then all of a sudden, we get to see a lot of dramatic votes. Lex says, "If I'm wrong about you, then I apologize. But I smell a rat, and my gut tells me you stabbed me in the back, and you're playing both sides. Good riddance." And so Brandon votes for Kelly. Haley's shaking her head.
He just wasn't thinking long term, I feel like. Or maybe he thought he was thinking long term, but he wasn't actually like understanding his place in the in that alliance.
Yeah, well, I think that Lex promised him final 4 and said, okay, you'll go to the 4 with me and Tom and Ethan. And he felt like that was pretty good. Didn't want to work with Frank.
Yeah, like Lex specifically says, like, I told Brandon he was number 5 in our alliance, like that he would be the 5th person. It's like, okay, he's telling you you're gonna be 5th. Like, that's not good.
Can we talk about hypothetically, Brandon votes out Lex here. Okay. First off, is Lex still a Survivor All-Star?
No.
You don't think so? I think he still might make it.
Well, Ethan's gonna come back probably. And Tom's definitely coming back. And I don't know.
Maybe Brandon comes back.
Okay. Well, is Ethan still going to win?
T-Bird comes back.
Yeah.
I don't know if Ethan wins, but then I think, because then you have the 5, but then I think the alliances are going to swap a little bit more, because then I think there will be the 2 factions again. I think T-Bird and Frank will try and pull in like Kim Johnson or Tom or whatever, and then kind of overlap them anyway. So maybe.
Well, do they need to? So now you have a 5-person alliance of Brandon, Frank, T-Bird, Kelly, and Kim Powers. Do they just pagong? Is it basically like Marquesas a season early where then this group of 5 basically pagongs Lex, Ethan, Tom, and Kim Johnson and becomes the final 5?
I think Teresa knows that Brandon and Kim Powers are never going to truly be on her side. Like, I think they take Kelly over Frank and T-Bird. So they need somebody else to get them back.
Yeah, they might keep Ethan because T-Bird seems to really like him.
I think it would be a more interesting back half of the merge.
Yeah, it does get a little predictable there at the end.
Yeah, I think it would flip-flop a lot more, but I don't think it's.
But it would
totally
be Marquesas, where it's
5.
like, the solid alliance of 4 gets taken out at the final 9 by an upstart group of 5, and then basically has to figure out their own 5 when they get down to the end. So one season early for that fan fiction to come true. So Kelly voted out. Gone too soon. She's really good. She's very cutting in the confessionals. Lindsay, should Kelly Goldsmith have been an all-star?
I think so. I think she certainly should have at least been considered, like maybe for second chance or something. How old is she now? Like, I feel like it wouldn't have been that wild to bring her back.
Kelly Goldsmith, I would imagine she's probably in her early 40s. She is 42.
Yeah, I think certainly
that's a very spry age.
Yes, exactly. So young.
She's still
youthful.
16 years younger than Kim Johnson was when she went on.
Yeah. I think she certainly did more stuff than like Amber.
Well, she talked about in the finale about how that she wanted to be a different type of woman on the show. When they cast for Survivor All Stars, they clearly said well, listen, Kelly Goldsmith, we know what we like. Yeah. We know what works around here.
Yeah.
You leave the thinking to us on the casting. But in fairness, they did hire her to work in casting after Survivor All Stars. And she did cast a lot of the people for Survivor Vanuatu that we talked about a couple of weeks ago.
I don't think I knew that.
It's all coming.
And then she stopped watching because Brooks went out first on Vanuatu.
Brooks singular, yeah.
And she had cast him, and she was too upset, so she stopped watching.
She cast a few. I think she cast Brady also. But I think she might have had 1 or 2 good people on that season also. She did a lot of work on Survivor Vanuatu. Lindsay, you have so many Talking with T-Birds to listen to hear all these great stories.
Definitely the early ones. I missed a lot of those, but then I've caught up on the more recent ones.
Okay. Good save. All right. So afterwards, there's a lot of questions about hey, what's with Brandon? That I feel like that this is a little bit sort of like a little middle school Haley, where Ethan and Big Tom don't like Lex has a new friend.
Yeah. I very much like that.
We don't like him. Lex is like, hey, he saved our skin. You got to be nice to him. Let him sit at our table.
It's very much like Lex is entitled to be like, well, he's my friend. Like, we have to. You have to be friends with him because he's my friend.
And they don't like him.
If Ethan brought a new friend, his new friend Frank, to the party, that wouldn't be happening.
Yeah, Ethan doesn't make new friends, really. I think that's that Big Tom and Lex are sort of involved in this battle with moving different pawns on the board. But Ethan doesn't really play that game.
Was Ethan close with anyone from the season after? Did he go to Tom's farm with Lex and Boss?
Yeah, I think Rob? He's famously very tight with Lex and Tom. And I think that that those are the people that he was really tight with. I mean, he was very tight with Kim Johnson, I think, also out there. But I don't know if there's anybody really from the other tribe that he's especially close with.
But even say 2 years after the season, did he still hang out with some of those people?
I mean, I think that him and Lex and Tom have stayed very close over the years, but I don't know if there's anybody else from the rest of the season that he talks to regularly.
Yeah, I think on Lex's questionnaire, he said something about like he still talks to Ethan pretty regularly, but he said he talks to Tom like multiple times a week.
Which is hard because
Yeah.
somebody's had a conversation with Big Tom. You don't always know what he's saying.
To listen really carefully.
You got to be really careful. Yeah.
Am I making it up? Did Johnny Fairplay have a show on Big Tom's farm?
No, that Lex, I believe, worked with Big Tom, and they produced a couple of episodes of a reality series about life on Big Tom's farm. And it was
Family
something
Beef.
called Family Beef. Yeah.
Yikes.
Something like that. Yeah. You know, Big Tom's a colorful character. Bucky Bo, also, a lot going on there.
Did Bo, like, why do I know Bo? Did he come for the family challenge on All Stars?
Yes, he shows up for Survivor All Stars, and then famously, Boston Rob said that he was, I forget what disparaging name he called him, like his dad. Yeah.
Were they ever in casting for like Blood versus Water?
I don't know if Tom and Bucky Bo were people that I know they talked to 1 million people for the Blood vs. Water season, but I don't know if Tom and Bo were in the mix.
I think I've read on the Survivor Wiki, for whatever it's worth, I think I read that Lex and his son were considered for it, but that they were doing the Family Beef thing, so they didn't. I don't know. I feel like there was an opportunity that was passed up in exchange for the very successful alternate reality show of Family Beef.
Yeah. All right, so we got to figure out where Brandon is in all of this. And so suddenly we look up and we see that 2 people from Baran had been voted out right at the merge. And so there is this possibility of, people could they get the gang back together.
Yeah, reunite the band.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's shocking that they don't. Like, it would just be so easy to get Lex out of here. I mean, he wins immunity, but
Yeah,
it would be easy if only
he'd been eligible to vote for.
But I mean that you could have cast anybody, Kim Johnson, and then also here we get the reward, famously, where Frank and Brandon go on the reward together. Also, we didn't mention the Brandon shooting the arrow, which I feel like is also a famous moment in the season in the pre-merge. But Brandon and Frank going to the movie theater together. Is this still as funny 20 years later?
No.
No, it's almost like I just feel like I remember there being like more charm to it and more like coming together. Like Frank's like, I really do appreciate Brandon, but like that never happened. Like it was very much like, I'm just here with him and I have to sit beside him and I don't like his lifestyle and he's lazy and I'm just not paying attention to him while I'm watching this great cinematic masterpiece and eating my M&Ms.
Yeah, they really thought that this was like the most hilarious thing that ever happened.
Having to watch a movie sounds like a punishment more than a reward.
Especially out of Africa.
Any movie?
Pretty much. Unless it was like Notting Hill. I don't want to be there.
Yes. What, you're anti-movie, Haley?
Just like they're just not for me.
I'm not a big movie person either.
Too long.
Yeah. Is this an anti-movie panel?
But also like not long enough at the same time. Like I don't get it.
Movies are too long. We like Survivor seasons.
We like to watch 10 hours
in one sitting.
Survivor in one go.
That's different because you get like story. Like movies, it's just like I'm over.
Yeah.
And there's never a commercial break during a movie where I can go to the bathroom.
I was laughing when Big Tom was talking about Frank's reaction to the movie about how that Frank was upset that it wasn't an army movie and nobody was getting. It's not even an army movie and nobody was getting killed in the movie. No shooting.
I like that too.
Yeah. So, all right. I think that the movie is a good reward though, because there's a lot of time to eat the snacks, Haley. I feel like a lot of the survivors make themselves sick because they feel like, I only got like 10 minutes to eat all this.
That's a good point. But
it was almost like they had a tailgate.
I can eat snacks in silence for 2 hours.
Yeah, you don't even have to watch the movie. Yeah.
I don't want to watch that movie.
Yeah. there's like a pregame, and then Jeff's like, and then when it gets dark, then we're gonna start the movie. Like, great, I got like 4 hours of snack time here.
Is there
Put
a
it on
fountain
again.
top machine?
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'd want.
Yeah. And so it's amazing though, especially when we're talking about this potential 4-4 group coming back together. Lindsay, it's almost like maybe like had T-Bird been at the reward, and T-Bird loves popcorn. Everybody knows this.
Famously,
okay?
yes.
If T-Bird had been like, all right, Lex and Frank and Brandon, you get to pick one person. All right, pick T-Bird. All right. Could she have maybe gotten them on the same page of like, guys, come on?
Yeah, I think there's probably something to that of like if she could persuade Brandon, and like if anyone could, probably T-Bird could like do this for me. I understand that you don't want to hang out with Frank, but like just this one vote, do this for me.
You know, as we're talking it through, Lex is going to win the immunity. And is there anybody else from Baran that has previous votes? No. Right?
No.
So they have the cheat code in that. Does anybody else from?
No, everybody
Samburu
else is good too, right? Everybody's at 0 right now.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So we go to the nature guide.
Yeah.
Put Big Tom on.
Big Tom
vote for Big Tom.
And that's what their plan was back at Samburu, and they were thinking that Brandon was going to get the votes. They were like, well, we'll vote for Tom. Brandon can beat Tom, and then we have the numbers back.
Yeah. Boy, Haley, I'm so into this previous vote tiebreaker.
I know. We've talked you back into it, haven't we?
Talk me back into it. Yeah. I was like, it's so, it's not sophisticated. No, bring it back. We love it.
Honestly, can you text Jeff right now and say for season 42?
You think I have Jeff Probst's cell phone number?
Don't you?
I don't know.
No.
You have somebody's cell phone number who has somebody's cell phone number who has Jeff Probst's cell phone number.
Interesting. But who?
I don't even have your cell phone number, Rob. We've been friends for almost a decade.
Is that true?
So scroll your contacts.
Yeah, for real? Okay. I'll put it in the private comments. So, yeah, is that for real?
Oh. Yeah, why? I don't bother.
I don't know if my phone texts Canada.
You,
yeah. Yeah, I guess not. Oh my god!
I just like anytime I email you, like, hey Rob, like I don't.
I'm sorry.
Real spotty sometimes.
I'm sorry you had to text shame me on a podcast. Yeah,
you can cut that out if you want.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll leave it. That's fine. We're having fun.
It's fine.
Yeah.
You're not going to be mad at me after this, are you?
Definitely not.
Well, you're not going to get a text about it.
Yeah.
That's true.
All right. So ultimately, yeah, we're gonna go to this tribal council, and Lex will not get on the same page as Ethan and Tom, and they're all gonna get together and vote out Brandon.
What a dingus, man! Like I'm getting worked up because
which part?
Because Lex thinks that he's playing a different version of Survivor than everyone else because he's Lex.
Yeah.
And everyone should just do exactly what he wants, and it's making me a little mad.
Mm-hmm.
This is the thing that JT does too, right? And Token Teens, when he's like, "No, I'm not going to vote for Coach," and like Steven gets mad about that. I think. Am I remembering that correctly?
Team, like we all have to make
it.
Concessions here.
Yeah.
Yeah. The concessions were at the movie.
Yeah, play into the jury.
Yeah.
That's good.
I do love when Kim Johnson says about, look, anybody that tried to jump ship too early, they got gooned.
Should we bring goon back along with the previous votes?
Well, let me ask, Haley, is getting gooned, is that a hockey term? Is that like the goon on the hockey team got you?
I mean, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Do I look like I've played hockey?
No, but
I have all of my teeth.
Yeah, I don't think you play hockey, but I feel like that you're a Canadian sports fan.
I think it was very fair to assume that of the two of us, you would be the one to ask, Haley.
Mm-hmm.
I'm much more of a baseball gal than a hockey gal.
Okay. Wait, Lindsay, do you know about goons?
I know nothing about sports.
There's
at
the
all.
movie.
I know
you said that you know soccer.
I know soccer. I mean, I played like whatever grade I was in when I was 11. Like I was on the blue team or something.
The famous blue team.
Yeah, not like I was like, I'm playing varsity.
The rich history of the blue team.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no, I know nothing.
But I do think that this gets interesting where it's like, okay, well, now Lex has like lost out in this power struggle for the first time in his group of three. And really now it feels like that Big Tom has some power, because I feel like that when we're talking about like the moving the pawns around, like I feel like that T-Bird and Frank, they are with Big Tom, perhaps more so than Ethan.
Certainly Frank, I think.
Yeah. And T-Bird will go wherever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that also seems like Big Tom doesn't love Brandon either.
I wonder why.
Yeah, I mean, there's a very uncomfortable scene that's also in the clip show where Big Tom is asking Brandon if he's gay.
Yeah, plays a lot like the Rob in Marquesas with John Carroll. Like this doesn't feel as threatening, maybe, but it's definitely tough. Like it's not a good look.
I did think it seemed more like it was coming from a place of curiosity, and that Big Tom has never met a gay person before, and Brandon's like, I bet you have. Yeah.
Yeah, like really is tripping over his words, and then he says like, he's kind of saying like, I knew the minute I looked at you, and then he's like, oh, I probably shouldn't be saying this, and kind of starts tripping over his words, and then goes like, are you gay?
Yeah, I think that the biggest problem with a lot of that is just that it's like, well, like I wouldn't choose that lifestyle, like which sort of like denotes that there's a choice there, that he is picking this. And again, it's 20 years ago. Like hopefully, people, even Big Tom, like are a lot smarter about these things. But the good and the bad of watching 20-year-old TV shows. Mm-hmm. So. All right. Then so Brandon ends up going out after Lex is really like soured on Frank. Very soon. Like Haley, did we see anything on the screen that explained why Lex is so down on Frank all of a sudden?
I feel like that's a thing that happens this season in general, is that we're missing a lot of context throughout some people's opinions and decisions.
Yeah.
So I don't think we got any here. And I feel like there's like some other moments where we're not getting really why the background on why people are saying things.
Yeah. Ultimately, Lex votes for Frank, and he says, Frank, you've been nothing but rude, grouchy, and a poor sport. In the last few days, you've been insufferable. Bottom line, you're a real downer, and I can't wait to see you go. Bye-bye.
There's a weird thing in this episode and in the one before where they show the swing vote like up front. Like that last time they show Brandon voting for Kelly, and this time they show Kim voting for Brandon. It's very odd.
Well, I think that the Kim voting for Brandon thing is interesting in that it was like, Kim doesn't really have much of a storyline throughout the season. And this is like a big thing for her where she, like, that was her friend.
Yeah, very betrayed.
The Samburu 4, really nobody comes away from this for the same 4 people that are making necklaces for each other. Like nobody goes out sour with Silas out of that group, but Brandon is like, Lindsay, I'm glad she's gone, and then Kim is like, Brandon, I don't like you anymore.
Yeah. Not an enduring friendship.
They didn't say best friends. Okay. All right. So Brandon is gone. So finally we're gonna get to more lions.
Very scary.
Yeah. Haley, how would you do with the lions?
Obviously shit, Rob. We both
a lot of camp life also in Survivor Africa, talking about how the difference between the mush and the gruel. Hey, Haley, would you rather
I would rather die?
Read mush or gruel?
I can't with those. I can't.
The part that really got me
to me, and called it mush or gruel, I'm out.
Yeah. The part that really got me is when they talk about like they eat the corn kernels, but they like break their teeth. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good.
I would have died.
Mhm.
It was just it was like milky corn soup.
Oh, so gross.
Yeah, chalky, I think was a adjective they used also.
And the
Yeah.
gruel, like I think the texture would just make me puke.
Yeah. These survivors had it really, really bad.
I'd be just eating the sticks off the enclosure.
This was a really hard season.
It's brutal.
Because it's not even like they could fish, they couldn't swim, they couldn't cool down, they couldn't go get a coconut, they couldn't use what was around them.
There was nothing, right?
Yeah, because like in the next season, they're going to say like it's the fewest provisions we've ever given them. They'll be starting with 0 food, but like at least they can gather stuff, and they just don't have that option here.
Yeah, like they're sick of coconut by the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, how about the auction? Let's do it. Auction time, Haley.
So this was when the auction was still fun.
Yeah.
Did it become not fun?
Of course it did. It became not fun when people started holding on to their money in hopes of an advantage. It was, it was fun that there was covered things and you don't know if it was gonna be good or bad, but it was still a good time.
Yeah.
I like that they could combine their money and share things. I loved the side auction. It was like, I'll give you 11,000 for a piece of chicken.
Yeah. Lindsay, that Jeff is going to shut down people pooling their money together in some of the future auctions. I'm not sure if we see it again. I think in Guatemala, I think people were pooling their money together in the seasons that I watched. But I do think it reveals a lot about the like interpersonal dynamics of what's going on when people pool their money.
Yeah, definitely. And like, I think in other seasons, it's like you can pool money and you don't have to share it or something. Whereas here, it was like, you can't share unless you all give money. But yeah, for sure. Like you can definitely see here where it's like, okay, Tom and Ethan are bidding on stuff together. Maybe they're a pair. And like T-Bird and Frank are obviously a pair. And in this case, I think it was like Kim and Lex were working a little bit together. And then Lex even says like Kim Powers is kind of on her own.
Yeah. I felt bad for Kim Powers when Big Tom was bidding against her for that Sunday, Haley.
So rude. I would have just given up and made Big Tom like pay so much money for a Sunday that he didn't want.
Yeah. Do you feel like Big Tom didn't want the Sunday or he was sort of indifferent?
I think he would have been happy to eat it, but I think he was just trying to screw over Kim.
You think so? He was just trying to raise the price?
Because Ethan keeps jacking the price up, and then Tom goes like, "No, I can't do her that way." But like once it's been brought,
I don't know. I feel like that Ethan was into it because Ethan does pay 5,000 shillings for just the vat of chocolate syrup.
So gross.
It is so gross.
Do you think that syrup's hot? Like I wouldn't want anything
Ethan said it was hot.
Yeah, it's super hot.
And like, could you imagine? Like, it's like 110 degrees in Kenya, and it's like, oh, let me eat this vat of hot fudge.
So gross. After you've eaten nothing.
It's going out the same way it's going in.
Yep. Yeah. So I love when
not to put too fine a point on it.
I loved when T-Bird got the hoagie, which was good enough to make you want to slap your mama.
Oh my god, incredible!
That sandwich looked unbelievable. If I was looking for a reward and I wanted food, I think that's what I'd want with a nice cold glass of Coke.
Yeah. Have you ever eaten anything good enough to make you want to slap a parent?
No, I don't slap people.
Yeah.
We're not chasing
I would be furious if one of my children slapped me.
I'm sorry, the sandwich
What's
was
that
so
for?
good.
This hoagie.
I do have a seasoning called "Slap Your Mama." I think it's a Southern expression. If I had to take a wild stab in the dark.
Yeah. What was on the hoagie, Haley?
It looked like a meatball sub.
Meatball sub. Okay, that's good.
It looked really, really good. Now I want a meatball sub.
But you can't talk about the Survivor Africa auction without the coup de grace, where Ethan and Big Tom pool their money for a big breakfast platter, and Big Tom celebrates that Ethan, who is Jewish, cannot eat the pork or cannot eat the ham, and celebrates.
Yeah. It's another Big Tom moment that hasn't necessarily aged the best. I remember this being very funny at the time.
It was very funny. Ethan talks about that, that him and Tom have that kind of rapport back and forth. I just still to this day, I'm very surprised that Big Tom knew the rules of I feel like there's many things he doesn't know. Somehow he knew.
He can't spell Ethan's name, but he knows that pork is not kosher.
Knew it instantly.
Yeah, true. That's a good point.
Yeah.
He does apologize afterward.
Yeah, he apologized. So that was good. But that is a famous moment. And then ultimately after that we get a little bit of a little bit of these character scenes and a little bit about how is Tom smarter than he lets on.
Yeah, the checkers shark or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I definitely think that Big Tom is. I think that he's sort of there are certain things about the world he's definitely not the ultimate resource about. But there are other ways where, I think he wants you to think that he is more of a country bumpkin than he might be.
Yeah. I think it's probably smart strategy, right? Have people underestimate you.
Yeah. We also then went from that to talking about how Big Tom is very eager to help the women with some of the bathing issues that are going on.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. He works as a shower for the team. Mm-hmm. It was an offer, of course, he made.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this comes up a few times over the course of the season. Also, Big Tom is very involved in the tick business with Lindsay. Also, earlier in the season,
I think it's Lex who says Tom gets away with murder.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the immunity challenge here. We get to hear a horrible story, Lindsay.
Truly horrible. Yeah, all the details of circumcision.
It just kept getting worse somehow.
Yeah, don't flinch.
It did keep getting a lot worse. I'm surprised. Did they have any other stories they could have told?
I have to think so. Which one is going to upset people the most so they might forget the details?
I'm surprised they were allowed to say circumcision on television 20 years ago.
Yeah. Maybe this is a medical procedure.
Yeah.
I guess, but
as the story goes, the Samburu warrior has that has an adult circumcision after a sort of a vision quest, and if he flinches in any way, his family is shamed forever. Could you imagine then where it's you're part of the shamed family? I feel like I'd be
understanding.
Come on. He flinched a little bit. Come on.
Who among us?
Yeah. I mean, it was a little flinch. Brutal. It's an adult circumcision. Come on. Okay.
And the poor wives who just have to keep having kids until there's a son. Ugh.
There's a lot going on there. Yeah. So we got Lex wins the challenge, and then we come back, and then it's a lot of Frank stuff. We go all in on Frank.
It felt like his boot was coming a mile away, didn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of that here in the back half of the post merge, where it's we spend a lot of time on the camp life, a lot of time on little character things, and then after the challenge, they just bury somebody.
Yeah, I like how Frank starts this off where he's I was in a good mood, good morning, Ethan, how are you? And everybody's what's going on with Frank? Why is he being nice to us?
Yeah. And then a lot of gun talk, a lot of Frank's politics. And then T-Bird's like trying to get Frank to change the subject.
Yeah.
And Ethan just sits there like this.
Yeah, nobody's asking for this.
No. I think Frank being in the NRA is like mentioned multiple times in his bio on the Survivor Wiki. Like he just really leads with that.
Yeah. And so ultimately it's going to be Frank. That T-Bird even votes for Frank here.
She is weeping openly as she does so.
Yeah. And we've talked about this a couple times in the last few weeks on the countdown of people that, vote for their allies, where we see Chris votes for Sarge 2 weeks ago. Vecepia votes for Boston Rob at the merge. T-Bird is going to throw her lot in with this group and cast a vote not against Frank. It's a vote for Frank.
It's an important distinction.
Yeah. So that maybe this was like her vote for who should win.
Yes, maybe.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna get to a episode where we get to see everybody's family. Family. Yeah, we get to do like sort of like a newlywed game with the families.
This was fun. I like this. I felt bad that they had to see them on like videotape.
Yeah. Oh, so is that what they did? It was like they paused the video?
Probably.
Yeah, it seemed like it.
Oh, that's wild. In my head, I'm like, oh, they're on Zoom. But I'm like, oh, no, they're not. So it's like they asked them the questions, and then what they edited the videotape together, and then it's like, all right, let's play the next one.
I can only imagine.
Wow. Okay.
2001, am I right?
Yeah. Blew my mind just now. Yeah. We got to learn about a lot of embarrassing stories from the survivors.
It was devastating to me that T-Bird had to answer things like, what's your biggest regret? What's your most embarrassing moment? And then Jeff told her she couldn't participate in the question of like, what are you most proud of? She had to have all of like the bad questions. And then Jeff's like, no. You don't get to, be good at stuff.
One of the things that jumped out to me is the story about Ethan and the curling iron. Lindsay, am I to believe that Ethan doesn't have naturally curly hair?
That's a good point. I didn't think about that at all. He must have naturally curly hair given how his hair looks for the...
What the hell is Ethan doing with a curling iron?
Yeah, maybe he's like trying to make it more intentionally curled in a certain way. I don't know.
I mean, sometimes I curl my hair with my straightener, so maybe he's straightening his hair with his curler.
Whoa, game changer. Curls it back in the opposite direction.
Is he like going for bigger curls? Maybe is it like is he very tight curls and he wants,
or maybe like a defined curl?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
like some of the looser ones.
Yeah, and what happened with the curling iron? He burnt himself.
Got stuck in his hair, and he had to cut it out.
Oh, that's
before
a shame.
Prom of all times.
Yeah. So we have a lot of vomit stories, which we know that Ethan does not care for.
Yeah, Ethan and I share that. That is also my answer to what is your biggest fear. So this is another point of connection for me and my one true love, Ethan's on.
Yeah. Haley, we have a wild story about Big Tom and his underwear and guests at the house.
I was upset.
Yeah.
I'm not as upset as I was when his wife said, oh, I've just been riding this stud around because I haven't had one at home.
Yeah.
Incredible. Truly incredible line.
And then I think in that moment, everyone in the tribe was like, oh, this all makes so much sense now.
Yeah. So ultimately, Lex is going to win. He's going to go on this reward with Big Tom. Anything else from the family of a newlywed game?
Yeah, I wanted to yell yawn every time somebody's like, proudest moment or proudest thing with their kids. I was like, yawn.
So
Yeah.
So easy.
Really gives them an advantage. It's like your parents don't necessarily know what your like biggest achievement was, but if you have kids, it's just like a real gimme answer.
Yeah. Okay. So they go on this sprawling adventure across the like the Garden of Eden, not Gabon. But they're gonna go to this. Is this like a preserve? Yeah,
Masai Mara. So I have been there.
You've been there.
Yeah. So in 2011, I did my field research for my undergrad in Kenya, and we went on safari in Masai Mara.
Yes. Okay.
So 10 years ago.
Now, did you get a lot of hard alcohol?
That's actually what they give you right when you get there. They're like, here's your free bottle of booze.
Did you have Jeff Probst's credit card?
I wish. Might have improved the accommodations.
Yeah. So yeah, they get so wasted. I mean, especially Tom. Lex seems like he just like a few drinks.
He has to be like poured into bed.
Yeah. Big Tom, he's a drinker.
I would have been concerned. I would have made sure, if I were Lex, I would have made sure Tom was in like the correct position.
Yeah, he says like, Tom, just do one thing for me, okay? If you're gonna throw up, just like leave the thing.
It's like, no, Tom's not even turning over if he's throwing up.
Yeah, like, has that ever worked? It's like, yeah, all right, I was gonna puke in my bed.
Lex, no problem.
I was gonna throw up in the bed. I'm gonna go out for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Go on the balloon ride. They get to see a lion eat a wildebeest.
Yeah. But we also skipped over the moment where Tom says, like, Lex is like, I've never had a beer with a mustache before. And then Tom's like, I've never had a beer with a hippo before. Like, I aspire to be that funny, even when sober. Like, that's very clever.
That was good. I like the hot air balloon driver.
Yeah.
Like too
distracted.
He
was good. Down. He was good. I thought that was an awkward high five after the lion killed the wildebeest tail.
I was upset. I was like, I know that this is nature and it has to happen, but I don't know why I had to see it.
High five. Yeah. All right. So they have a great time. Everybody is very bored. Back
including you, by the sounds of this. Maybe, Rob, did you hate this?
No, it's fine. It was not. I mean, this was better this time than the last time I watched it, where I was watching it like I couldn't really see what was going on as well.
Not true, and also you didn't have it on 1.5.
Was Tom still plastered in the hot air balloon?
I think he got up and started drinking again.
Yeah, he said I think he said something to the effect of like being hungover. He said his head felt huge or something, and then he just drank a bunch of water, and he's like, and then I was good to go.
Yeah. So, Lindsay, do you feel like I skipped over anything on the hot air balloon ride?
No, this is fine. That's good.
Yeah. I mean, back at the camp, they're talking about what corn they don't want to eat anymore.
An exhaustive list from Kim Powers.
Yeah. And then basically Kim Powers is going to go home.
Yeah, she's super invisible this episode.
Yeah, she doesn't really get a lot. Why don't they vote out T-Bird?
Because I like her.
I guess so. I mean, she's more of the troublemaker than Kim Powers ever was.
Yeah, but I don't think they think that she is.
Yeah. I mean, even in this episode, they're like, hey, let's vote all women.
Yeah. Yeah, they just seem to be very fond of T-Bird, and they just don't come after.
I mean,
her.
I can't blame them. I am too.
It wouldn't be. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they're like, oh, like we could do all women's thing because again, it's the issue is you could force the tie there. Who has immunity? Is Lex win immunity again here? No, Big Tom won. Yeah. So Big Tom wins immunity. They could do 3 votes on Lex.
Yeah, good point. I completely forgot that Tom won an immunity this season.
Yeah, so he wins like the not a slingshot, but basically that sort of thing.
A throwing hammer.
Yeah, throwing the hammer. All right, so we get down to the final 5. And this is when T-Bird is going to start to pull out the stops and basically going to try to tell everybody about what was really going on with that vote back at the merge. But first, an elephant has pooped in the water.
Elephant dung.
More yeah. There's an look at this. Look how valuable this elephant dung is. This is a fortune in elephant dung. You know how well this burns?
What can't you do with it?
Are there berries? Yeah. Okay.
Uh,
So they get letters also from the family members, but we also we get the reward challenge, which turns out to be for the car. Lex wins it and then goes and delivers goods to the hospital that does a lot of work with AIDS patients in Africa. And one of the things that I really noticed in the season is that I feel like that not only do we have the visit to the village when Lex and Ethan go and sell the goat, but also we get this reward where Lex delivers the supplies to the hospital, which is going to be like a staple across a lot of different seasons where we see them deliver goods to schools and all sorts of different native places that the seasons travel to. And I just think that this is the birth of that.
Yeah, I remember reading in the quarantine questionnaire thing, T-Bird says that her biggest regret from the whole season is that she didn't ask if she could go on this reward. And that would have been so great. Like, they probably would have let her go.
She didn't even tell Lex, and T-Bird, her brother had passed away from AIDS, and that she she hadn't brought up that fact, but she had seen afterwards where these supplies were going, and she was very very touched by that.
Yeah.
And
It's
Lex
nice
certainly would have taken her if he would have known. Oh, actually, I don't know. I don't think he was allowed that he didn't get the chance.
He didn't get an option, but she said she wished she just would have asked Jeff to be able to go.
Yeah. And I think they definitely would have let her go.
Yeah, that would have been a great moment.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, Tom and Ethan are talking about what's going on with Kim Johnson. Lex comes back and he feels like there was some funky mojo, Haley.
Yeah, he's just following his gut again.
Yeah. And so there's talking about plans that aren't going to happen, but eventually T-Bird is going to tell Lex that Tom said not to trust Lex.
It was her Hail Mary.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a lie, right? Like Tom did say that.
Did Tom say that?
Well, I don't know. I feel like
because
they were getting to a point where Tom and Lex were starting to crack at the foundations.
Yeah. Lindsay, Tom definitely said, if you want to vote out Lex, that's fine. I just can't be involved.
Yeah, but he does sorry, go ahead.
Did he say don't trust Lex?
Yeah, I don't know about that part. Like, we definitely see in All Stars that he kind of does that move again of maybe it'd be a good idea.
That's his move. Yeah.
Yeah, just don't tell me about it. So yeah, I think T-Bird kind of invents like the Tony move here, where she goes to Lex and is like, "So I lied to you before, but I'm telling you the truth now, so you know that you can believe me about this thing I'm going to say." And it seems to work. Like, Lex goes for it.
I think also it helps that Kim Johnson is also saying like, "Oh yeah, Tommy's talked to me a bunch of times about voting you off." Lex is very angry, not happy. He's ready to cut his throat.
Yeah, loves cutting throats.
There's just so much threatening of violence this season. A lot of violence of the innards and of the threatening variety.
Yeah, Lex's big throat cutter.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very aggressive.
Yeah. So ultimately they vote off T-Bird.
Yeah.
Shame.
So good run for T-Bird.
Excellent. She did better than I remembered. She had the most strategy in this season for sure.
Yeah. I can't wait to talk to her this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah. That's gonna be good.
Okay. She's never watched the season.
What?
She won't watch it.
Maybe she should. It's really good.
And she looks great this season too.
Yeah.
I know, and it's not all about looks, but she looks fantastic.
Okay. I was a little bit dreading going into the finale also. I'm like, I feel like it's going to be a boring finale.
I wasn't that bad. Too. I was like not super dupes looking forward to it, but it did move along at a quick enough pace.
Yeah, I'll say I feel like that the finale isn't bad. The reunion is boring.
Real
The
boring.
reunion is hot garbage.
Brutal.
Yes. Yeah. All right. But we open the finale with Lex is going to confront Tom about all this.
Good. We need some drama.
We got some drama for the finale, which is you don't always get. And so they're going back and forth, and then ultimately that Big Tom says that he absolutely did not say to not trust Lex. And then also he did say that they could vote for him.
Yeah. I feel like there's that thing where it's like, if the person won't explicitly say no when you ask them a question, like they're probably lying. But he almost overcorrects where he's like, no, absolutely not. No way. No how. I didn't do it. No, no, no. And it's like, that's a little suspicious too.
Well, it's just so funny because, I mean, this is like the exact scenario that happens to Tom in the All-Stars Final Five.
Yeah.
Except
it's got a pattern.
Yeah. It's just like that. Like, did you or did you not say, like, I absolutely didn't do, like, so the same thing, but then you just don't have Rupert being like, Tom, you did. Yeah, so basically this is between Lex and Tom, they work it out, but for some reason Tom won't shake Lex's hand.
Well, now we're not even supposed to shake hands, so
Yeah, but that's fair. That's fair.
Well, it's weird too how they're both like in this weird back and forth. It's like essentially just like a pissing contest of like, I don't want you to feel like you carried me because I got here on my own. And they're both just being such babies about it. It's like, just shake again. It's fine. Like, there's 4 of you left. Just stop.
Lex is like, or Tom is like, well, I'm not going to shake your hand because I already shake your hand. I don't need to make another alliance. I already had an alliance. And Lex is all like, I don't want to feel like you're doing me a favor. And
whatever.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it. Just hug. Just hug.
Well, you still can. 2020 is coming.
Come on. All right. We have our Fallen Comrades challenge, and this is, of course, major controversy.
Mm-hmm. Big controversy.
On the final question, that which survivor doesn't have their ears pierced? Yeah,
it's brutal that this is the last question.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if it wasn't the decider, it wouldn't be such a big deal. But
yeah, the story of Lex on Survivor is ultimately a tragedy.
Go on.
Many bad things happen to Lex on Survivor.
Yeah.
Like, and there's a lot of times where it looks like it's a little bit like Lucy with the football, where it looks like things are going to go his way, and almost invariably the football gets pulled away from Lex.
Yeah. It's like kind of everything that can go wrong seems to go wrong for him, especially at the end. Like, even at the point where Kim says, like, Lex has won so many things. That's why he's not going to win the game.
Mm-hmm. and this is, Lex has the right answer. Ultimately, that they say Kim has the right answer. Kim wins this immunity. She wins the final 2, with the final 3 immunity challenge, votes out Lex. But again, this is like another thing of like afterwards where they say, oh no, you should have we made a mistake on that one. That was a bad call.
Yeah, do we need to set this story up more? Like, does everybody know this story?
Please tell the story.
Oh, I don't know. I feel like this is something for you to do. But so my understanding is that the question is like, which survivor has no piercings, including their ears? And Kim says Kelly, which is correct, and Lex says Lindsay, and they say that's wrong. But then, like, after when it's airing, Lindsay's like, no, I also
so it's
don't
the
have
finale. So I think that they're all together, like in the green room
live. They find this.
Yeah, and then Lex says Lindsay, and I think she's like, yeah, I don't have any piercings.
Yeah, and Lex probably was super pissed, right?
Yeah. I mean, he was pissed when T-Bird wrote his name down. Like, could you imagine how pissed he is over this?
I didn't realize it happened at the finale. I thought it kind of happened in between something.
I think it happened at the finale.
That's
and then
wild.
And then what I believe is, and again, this is a little bit anecdotally, I believe that then both him and Tom got second place money also. And then also sort of that. Yeah, and then also I'm not sure if it was sort of like a sort of handshake deal of and then if we have an All-Stars, then you guys will get to play also.
That makes sense. I mean, I feel like they're the two biggest characters from Survivor Africa, so they would have been a lock anyway, but
yeah. But this is a bad break for Lex.
Yeah. Like, no, I mean, there's no way of knowing what the next question would have been. Maybe he would have messed it up, but like just to go out like that and then find out that you shouldn't have gone out, like even if you're not Lex, you're going to be mad. So I have to imagine he was quite furious.
Ugh, especially at the finale too. That's pretty nutso.
Yeah.
Yeah. And his bad night is going to be worse. Because he's gonna go back to the camp, and this is, I mean, it's really a very sad day for Lex, because he is going to like, I guess, like, Jeff is gonna come at 4:30 in the morning. This happens in Marquesas also, but I guess Lex not only had the long fire watch shift of like watching up at the lines, but also had severe gastrointestinal distress where he was in the bathroom all night.
Yeah, 12 or 13 times in the night.
Yeah. Is this a, like at nighttime, what is the bathroom situation in the Boma? Do you leave the Boma at nighttime? Like we saw Clarence leave the Boma, and I mean, but this is like you are on the watch for lions who come out at nighttime. If you have to use the restroom at nighttime, like, are you leaving the Boma? Do they have a special like nighttime like corner of the circle? Yeah.
Oh my god.
Can you add that to your list of questions?
Please add that to the list. This feels very important.
Yeah. Nighttime bathroom. Okay.
Like, does he have to leave the safety of the Boma 13 times and risk being eaten by a lion while experiencing severe gastrointestinal distress?
I don't know. Jeff comes in. All right. Get ready, everybody. We're going to a ritual.
Yeah.
And then Lex tells Jeff, like, listen, dude, the stomach not doing so hot. You got a couple Tums?
Yeah. This is something that I really don't know the answer to this question. Does the show do a good job of highlighting the indigenous people here in this season? Like I really don't know what to do with these scenes where we're going to have a this rite of passage. It seems like everybody's having a good time in the moment. I don't know what to do with it.
I think it's compelling, but again, it's like, is it a little voyeuristic? Is it a little like highlighting? Whoa, isn't it crazy what these people do?
Yeah.
I think they want to respect the indigenous people here. Does it always come off as respect?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like they try to do a pretty good job of like, at least the castaways aren't like, whoa, this was like such a bizarre experience. They like try to get into it and seem to be like appreciating the experience. And I feel like Jeff does a good job of setting it up as like, this is for you and this is an honor and you should take it as such. But like, yeah, I feel the same way of like, how do we discuss it? Like, is it too voyeuristic? Like, is it othering? Like, I'm not sure.
All right. So Hands on the Heart Idol is here. And so here we go. We start early in the morning and that sun is going to get hot. And I just feel for Lex so much in this. Like, he's like had this. And look, I can imagine this scenario where here you are 38 days into this game. And now it comes down to this. And he has been sick. He's not at his at his full capacity.
It's devastating, and I hate to be like a sucks to suck person, but it's like getting sick is like kind of part of the game. Like that's just one of the many elements you have to deal with. And I would very much be upset if I was in Lex's position.
Yeah.
But that's just that's
Yeah.
the game sometimes. Sorry, bub.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kim Johnson, she's just felt like she was rubbing it in a little bit. She's like, I'm just like on the beach. I'm baking in the sun, drinking my
great.
Planters punch. I feel great.
Yeah. Is that, I don't know if we've ever confirmed that story about like Ethan seeing a cameraman throw up or something, and that's what knocked him over.
Yeah, I that would be another good question for Ethan about did somebody get sick? And I don't know, or like was it did it have to do with like was Lex in a diminished capacity, and then does Ethan, we know his worst fear is vomiting, did that have an impact on him?
Yeah, speaking for myself, this would have been a huge problem for me if that is what
Yeah,
happened.
yeah. The whole thing is not great.
Yeah.
I loved Ethan's Charlie Brown moment where he's like, hold on as long as you can, guys. You don't want to be here. It doesn't feel good.
It's very
It
sad.
sucks.
Yeah.
I wish I was there.
grief.
It's like,
Mhm.
who is this?
Yeah. Ultimately, we're gonna see Kim Johnson win the final immunity.
I feel like Ethan is in a little bit of the rich spot here where it's like, it's probably good he didn't have to make this choice. Like if he took Lex, he's much less competitive. And if he votes out Lex, Lex is going to be pissed.
Yeah. I definitely don't think he tried to lose a lot.
No.
Richard has. Yeah.
But I think it's good that he did.
It probably worked out for the best for him. Kim Johnson is going to be the swing vote here. She says at the tribal council, she's like, I almost wish I didn't have to be the one to make this decision. Almost.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, she's going to go to the final two with Ethan.
Would Lex have taken Kim?
That's a very interesting question. I think he would have. Even if he would have, I think he would say he would have taken Ethan.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Lex would have beaten Ethan?
I mean, based on what T-Bird has said, I do believe that Lex would have won.
Yeah.
Would
you guys in
Ethan-
TOS speculated that Ethan would have won. He kind of did the math on it. So it's interesting.
Yeah, but
it would have been close.
I will defer to T-Bird on these things where I think that we've talked about if it was Lex versus Ethan, that she says Lex would have won.
Mm-hmm.
So, sometimes you just are going off of what you see on television. You don't, oh, this person actually hated this person. So
would Ethan have taken Kim? And if he did, would he have won? Like, would Lex have been pissed and not given him his vote? Like, would Tom have been more pissed about it?
I don't know. I think they all would say they were going to take the other people. Like, if you didn't betray the alliance, like in real life, like nobody ever says, like, "Oh yeah, I was totally going to betray the alliance."
Right.
It's like admitting to a crime that you didn't actually commit. All right. Want to talk about the final tribal council?
Let's do it.
I was really mad at Kelly's question. I'm not going to lie. I was on Kelly's side this whole season. She was fun. She had a great time. I was upset that she just it was like, man, pick a number. Like it was, I just didn't, I don't know. I just didn't like it.
Ethan like wagged his finger at her even at the reunion shows. Like I thought that Kelly would have taken it a little bit more seriously.
Mm-hmm. I do like her before that though, and she's like, "I didn't vote for stupid Lex." Great delivery on that.
Yeah, it still bothers me that Kim Johnson picks a number from 1 to 1,000 on Kelly's question, picks 3, and Ethan doesn't say 4.
So ridiculous. Terrible gameplay.
The Brandon thing is wild too.
That Ethan thinks that Brandon is going to be the swing vote, and then insults him.
Yeah, that Ethan tells us that I think the swing vote could be Brandon. And then Brandon has a question, which he tells us is just going to be like, he just wants to zing Frank. What does he ask him? He wants to know
who doesn't deserve to be beside you.
Yeah. I guess he wanted Ethan to say Frank, which I don't know, might have lost Frank's vote. And he says, you. And then Brandon is incensed.
Yeah. Like it's bad, but it's especially bad if he thinks that's the deciding vote.
Yeah. And then we see Frank's question of what are the big 5 characteristics? 5 is too many things to name, Frank.
Yeah. They both really struggle with it. Like you can hear them being like, smarts, I guess.
Yeah. We talked about Kim Powers' question. Big Tom, I think that, after doing some of these Talking with T-Birds, where I believe it was Dawn who first highlighted this about how drunk the Caramoan jurors were. I have a different read on Big Tom in the final tribal council here of Survivor Africa. I think he's hammered.
Story checks out. That feels correct. I would not have thought about it, but
yeah. Even his vote for Ethan, where he's like incoherent talking about Kim Johnson. I was like, all right.
Yeah, I don't even care if you heard me.
Yeah. He asks the question about that if a hyena ate the mush and looked as hiney, would it be to get the taste of the mush? And I like that they try to both like earnestly answer the question. Try to well, I think it
wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
We didn't hate it as much as you did.
Yeah, I take it so seriously.
Yeah. So Haley, what do you think about the cut from the Survivor Africa Final Tribal Council to secretly? I don't know if you noticed that they're actually on a soundstage in Los Angeles.
Rob, I can't even express to you how much I hate it.
You hate it so much.
And how mad I'd be if I were about to get presented with my $100,000 check and I had to wear a bandana as a shirt.
Yeah,
sure,
why did we do this?
That might look okay on me after 39 days. It doesn't look great on me current day.
Yeah.
And like Tom just had to keep not wearing a shirt with like a couple hundred people in the audience. I was like, I would have to say rude is probably the best adjective for it.
They're gonna do this one more time in Thailand also.
Yeah,
why not Marquesas? Did they do that in Marquesas?
No, Marquesas was in New York.
Oh, it was too cold. Right, it was too cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't get me in Thailand because they had done it here, but like when they did this, I remember watching the live reunion like in the real time. This definitely got me. In fairness, I was 11, but I was completely convinced.
Yeah, it's like
it's a good
look weird. Cut. Yeah, these look weird now.
They pull back and show the audience, and I was so scandalized. I was like, "Well, how long has this been going on?"
I think they go to commercial and they come back from commercial, and then they're in the studio. And then ultimately, we get that Ethan is the win. 2 votes for Kim Johnson. So by a win of 5-2, Ethan's the winner of Survivor Africa. So very exciting. Ethan gets a Chevy Avalanche too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. And so then Jeff's out. Here comes Brian Gumbel.
What a mistake.
Swan song.
So, yeah, he's back one more time to talk with Ethan Zorn.
Ethan Zorn.
Brian Gumbel seemed like he was into it, at least in the first one, but this is the 3rd Survivor finale and he's over it.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember, Rob, when we did the awkward reunion moments countdown, I had this up there of like Bryant trying to think of clever little like superlatives for each of the people and then ending with Ethan Zorn. Like he's so bad.
I think he also butchers Carl's name also as I was listening to it. Like I don't think he gets close to Balancione.
And he was also very interested in the upper regions of all of the young women and whether or not they showed them in their application videos.
There was a lot of talk about their casting tapes.
Unedited footage in his trailer.
Yes, if you have sexy casting tapes, Brian Gumbel wants to know.
Why didn't we see Carl's casting tape?
Must not have been sexy casting tape.
Not enough sexiness to that one.
Yeah.
Sexy Dr. Carl.
Yeah, but let's not explore Carl's sexy tape of him in the Porsche from the neck up. So yeah, this is one of my looks that you'll see if you put me on this show. All right. The reunion show is very boring.
Brutal.
It's like a nap of an episode.
Yeah. I mean, contrast this to the one I watched last week with Rosie doing it, which is just all like nonsense, all shenanigans, which was also bad, but this just has no energy.
But at least like Rosie watched the season. It felt like Brian didn't even check it out.
Yeah. Lindsay, any thoughts here from the reunion? I don't even know what to talk about.
Yeah, I don't know. There's basically nothing. The only other thing I have written down here is like, I feel like Bryant a lot of the time doesn't know what the hell Tom is saying. Like he's got that look on his face that people have when they're like not really listening, and they're like, and he like just looks super confused. And it's like, anyway, moving on to someone else. Yeah, I agree with what Haley's saying. Like, I don't think he even watched the season.
So Brian Gumbel wants to talk about the beans incident with Clarence.
That makes one of us.
Yeah. And then like Big Tom like doubles down on the if I had a gun I'd shoot you, and Lex jumps in and is like, I'd slit his throat.
Yeah.
Also, Clarence like wasn't sitting on one of the benches. He was like on the stones in between the two benches.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
There was like some awkward placement. I don't know if it was just easier to put him there so then he could stand up and show his abs, or what.
Maybe they knew he was gonna go to the abs.
What did Lindsay's shirt say?
What did Lindsay's shirt say?
Yeah, it said no something, but I could never figure it out.
I don't know. Let me see if I can take a look. Clarence did have a great line about with the beans. He said, I haven't seen white people so mad since OJ got acquitted, which was a
work of art.
Clarence is very funny.
Maybe the MVP of this reunion.
Yeah, he might be, because
he's the only bright spot.
Yeah, nobody else is bringing that much stuff. We're talking about Big Tom's boil.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about that.
For a reason.
Yeah,
for a reason. Yeah. Okay. I liked Brian Gumbel's segments also of like this is the friends and enemies segment.
He's a big cue card guy.
Yeah. Okay. After this, they pull the plug on Brian Gumbel reunion. All right. Should we talk about some questions?
Yeah.
Yes. All right. In this segment, we're calling it questions and answers. This is where we answer questions from the listeners of the podcast. Okay. So let's see. How about a question? Joy the librarian wants to know, should we give Ethan credit for inventing the meat shield strategy?
Huh. From my perspective, I don't know that he necessarily had it as a strategy of like, I'm letting Lex take all the bullets for me. Because like he was still willing to vote out Clarence and stuff. Like, it's not like he had a lineup of people.
So I do think that Ethan talked about, I remember him doing interviews talking about like, he wanted to be the assistant coach more than the like coach of the team, not the guy who plays in Survivor Tocantins. So I think that he didn't want to be the guy, wanted to be like the guy behind the guy, but I don't know necessarily if it was like as thought out as like, well, the meat shield is more like the people that are going to be out in front, like winning the challenges. I want them in front of me because they're going to be seen as the bigger threats. Like, I think for the Ethan, like the assistant coach was the idea of sort of like everybody hates their coach, but they love their assistant coach.
Yeah, I think he expected to be more of a challenge threat though than he was. Like he got rid of Silas, he got rid of Clarence, and then he still didn't really win any challenges after that. Like, but
yeah. Let's see. Cam with a C wants to know, if there was a fan favorite award for this season, who wins it? T-Bird, Ethan, or Big Tom?
Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Could have been T-Bird though. Only that that the person who goes out the night before the finale like does have a good showing.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a friend who I don't think has watched Survivor since this season, and like the only thing she remembers about Survivor is Tom Buchanan.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, he's a big personality.
you're the star.
Yeah. So like I wonder, like, could Lex, Ethan, and Tom have split the same votes? And maybe
Yeah, maybe.
T-Bird is a little bit of a different voting block. Okay. Brian Hickey wants to know. So is this Lindsay? I'm assuming we're talking about Lindsay Richter, not Lindsay Wilson. So is this Lindsay officially the Lindsay that doesn't suck? That I can only think of the Lindsays from Cagayan and Worlds Apart, and somehow season 3 Lindsay might be the best. That it blows my mind that that there were like in my head there was one other Lindsay. There's actually 2 other Lindsays. Yeah, this is the Lindsay that doesn't suck.
Yeah, I guess. They're all pretty bad.
Yeah, Lindsay, is Lindsay the worst Survivor name? Is there any other name that has appeared 3 times where the person has not made the merge?
Geez, not that comes to mind. It's been a very, very poor showing for Survivor Lindsay's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a lot of competition.
Yeah. Okay. You want to explore if Kim Johnson won Africa, how would she have done on Winners at War?
She would have won. She might have won.
Like 70
She's
years
a
old.
7-year-old woman. She's almost 80.
Hey, give her a planter's punch and she's ready to go.
Oh my god.
I think she'd have a great time, honestly.
Okay. How about Joe Weaver says, if Lex wins this season instead of Ethan, how does Survivor history change? Does Ethan win All-Stars because he isn't targeted the same way? How does Lex do in Winners at War?
Do you think Ethan gets called back for All Stars if he doesn't win? Because I feel like Lex and Tom are the locks, and I don't know if we would need Ethan.
His edit wouldn't have been as good.
Yeah.
Also, it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's too late for me to go through that kind of mental
brain melting thoughts. Yeah.
I feel like people didn't have like warm feelings about Lex, and I think Ethan's win was like very well received because he was like the nice guy. And I think we were still at the point where it would have been like, oh my god, the bad guy won this game, and I don't know that people would have appreciated that so much.
Yeah. Would Boston Rob have asked Lex to protect Amber on the other tribe in Winners at War? You take care of her. I'll take care of you if you can. All right.
Again, my brain is goo.
I wish I could have done this 13 years ago, but I'm going to do it now.
Because I probably would have voted Lex out earlier, and then he's not there for this, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
yeah.
Our whole lives would be different. Rob, your life would be...
Everybody's life would be
Rob
different.
have won Survivor All-Stars?
Probably.
You wouldn't even be here with us.
And there was no scenario you can work out where I'm going to win Survivor All-Stars.
That's the spirit.
Yeah. Nobody... If I find 4 people there that want to give me $1 million. Ryan Patterson says, is there another season with a better trifecta of rewards segments? The bartering goats trip with Lex and Ethan, the movies with Frank and Brandon, and the hot air balloon with Lex and Tom. You know, in Marquesas, we talked about last week, there's a couple of like big rewards that really do eat up a lot of time on the show. When Pascal and Sean go to the Marquesian celebration, when Leah and Pascal go on the cruise ship. I don't know if there's 3 though.
I feel like some of them in Micronesia were good. I love the island hopping.
Really great rewards. They make really great use of the scenery here in Survivor Africa.
Yeah, they're all great.
Yeah. Mike wants to know, I was surprised to see this rank better than Marquesas. After watching them back to back, albeit backwards chronologically, what are your thoughts? What is the better season, Marquesas or Africa? Well, similarly, both seasons have pretty feisty pre-merge. Both seasons like culminate with like their best episodes around episode 8, like right after the merge. That's where all the action is. Then both seasons have a quiet finish to the season. It's very close. Marquesas has more action at the end of the game with everything that's going on. I give the slight nod to Africa, but that I think it's splitting hairs between Africa and Marquesas.
Yeah, no, I think I agree. I was thinking, I have always found the fact that like Lex, Tom, and Ethan as 3 of the final 5, like I've always found that very satisfying that they get to the end and you kind of like, yes, Lex goes out, but you've still got Ethan in there in the finals. Whereas I remember thinking like, oh, like Kathy's gone. Like now who do I vote for? And like ultimately I was rooting for V after that, but I was rooting so hard for Kathy that it felt like a bit of a letdown when she gets voted out. Whereas in this case, I was like happy to have either Lex or Ethan at the end. So I think like that's going back 20 years. That's how I was feeling at the time, where I found that way more satisfying. And I think now I think I prefer that ending still, but it is super close. Like you still have great characters in both. Like you've got Sean, who's certainly better than Kim. So.
Yeah. I think that's the intrigue about like, is anybody going to make the move against Lex? Is I think a more interesting story than like you really see the world through Kathy's eyes in Marquesas, and I feel like that it's like can Kathy find a different lane? Is like not I think as compelling of a story as is Lex gonna have a downfall?
Yeah, like Pascal and Aaliyah in there. It's like, who cares?
So I'll give the edge to Africa, but I enjoyed Marquesas also. How would T-Bird have done on Second Chances? Any thoughts on this?
I feel like she would have done well after seeing her on Survivor Africa. How she really did have a strategic mind. I think a lot of people would have really liked her. I don't think a lot of people would have been threatened by her, but I do think she would have been able to pull her weight in the early portion of the game. I think it's hard though, because Second Chances was kind of messy at the end.
Who's she replacing? Monica?
Sure.
Oh my god.
I feel like she does better than Monica.
Monica was on Second Chances? You're lying
right?
to me. No, you're lying to me.
Monica Padilla.
Did Monica play 3 times?
No,
Padilla,
only 2.
Not Culpepper.
Oh.
Monica Padilla, yeah.
Still.
Yeah. You didn't even remember she played once.
No.
Okay. Let's get to our survey.
Woo.
Okay. Let's talk about what's going to happen with how the fans voted about this season. Okay. Who was the season's MVP?
Lex.
Yes. 50% of the voters said Lex. 28% said Ethan. 12% said T-Bird. Which one-time player would you like to see come back and play in a future season?
Okay. It's T-Bird, right? Or Clarence. These are the 2. It's got to be T-Bird.
Yeah, it was a blowout. 72% for T-Bird. 14% for Kelly Goldsmith. 7% for Clarence. Okay. Which name in this list made you pause and think to yourself, wait, who's that?
Carl every time. Who is Carl?
Is this like a Jeopardy response?
Who is Carl?
This is the most unrecognizable contestant in Survivor Africa.
Ding, ding, ding. Who is Carl?
No, that is the second most unrecognizable contestant in Survivor Africa. Lindsay.
Who is Jesse?
Yes, I like that from now on. The answer needs to be in the form of a question for this
who's
one.
that?
Yeah. Okay. Who was the most underrated player of the season?
T-Bird?
It was T-Bird, 36%. Who was the Kelly Wentworth Award for best pre-merge boot? This is a tough one.
Oh,
Lindsay.
yeah, because Clarence gets hosed because he's not in consideration, right?
Yep. Haley's got it. It's Lindsay. All right.
Nice.
Out of the 40 seasons, with one being the best winner and 40 being the worst, where did the listeners rank Ethan on average?
14.
I'm going to say 21.
Okay. Lindsay is closer. It's 20.4. So that makes Ethan the 10th best winner. So he is a percentage points behind Sophie and just ahead of Vesepia.
Wait, can you explain that to me again?
So we've asked the listeners every week to rank the winners from 1 to how good of a win, where would you rank Ethan on your winner ranking?
Okay.
1 through 40. We
Okay.
get an average of all of the votes.
Right.
The Ethan's average was 20.38. That makes him have the 10th highest average of the 20 winners we've talked about.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Kim has the highest score. She was ranked 5.88 on average.
Wow.
Okay, great.
Chris Underwood has the worst. He was had an average of 35.52 by the listeners.
Wow.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Can't imagine anyone's going to be lower.
We'll see. We'll see. But Ethan, the 10th best winner, as according to this, is a good stat, I think. Okay.
10th best winner as of
perceived by the listeners. Yes.
What we've covered, right? Not in general. He's 20th best in general. No?
Well, the 10th best of the 20 seasons, the worst 20 seasons.
Yeah.
There's 20 seasons we haven't polled the audience about yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're halfway through the countdown.
Right. Okay. I got it. Because they didn't rank all the winners at once.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Congratulations, Rob. You're halfway.
We're just we're minutes
Can you
away
believe
from
that?
I can't because it feels like I started this the first week of January.
There's still so much more to do.
There's still so much more to do.
Like you've come so far, or you're so far away.
But this is now the sweet spot of now I get to talk about the best 20 seasons of Survivor.
Mm-hmm.
So that's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
That's something. It's just weird to think about. I've sat here the last 20 Wednesdays talking about old Survivor seasons for 3 and 4 hours at a clip.
Yeah, truly wild.
It's like, what have you done this year? Well, I've talked about a lot of Survivor. Yeah. Okay. I mean, we're deep into 2021 now.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody noticed. Okay. The rewatchability rankings. So I'll say that I got to put this. I said, I gave I said it was a little bit better than Marquesas. So I have to put it one spot ahead of Marquesas, make it the 5th best season I've watched in the year 2021. And again, these are just my rankings of how I felt watching the season. This was not a chore to get through this week. Okay.
I probably won't watch it again for another 10 years.
Yeah. Watch it every 10 years. Okay. All right. What do you think is going to be next week's season? What is the first season that we're going to talk about in the top half of the rankings?
Cook Islands?
Oh, that's a good guess. I was thinking, I feel like nobody's talking about Korong, and I feel like it's time.
Could sneak in. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and tell you the audience predicts 27% of the audience thinks it will be the Australian Outback. 22% thinks it will be Cook Islands. 13% thinks it will be San Juan del Sur. All right. I can tell you it's going to be one of those 3. All right. 27% we are going to the Outback.
Wow. Wow. 4-3-2, really?
Yeah, this is a wild part of the countdown. I mean, we started with Vanuatu 3 weeks ago, so we had an older season, and then 3 weeks in a row, Marquesas, Africa, Australian Outback. We are Benjamin buttoning the first couple of years of Survivor. I will watch season 4, season 3, and now season 2, all in a row. That is going to be with Amy Chan and Chappelle. So that's coming up next Wednesday night. Programming note that I will be taking 1 week away from the top 40 countdown. Taron Armstrong is going to be here in my place to talk about the 19th best season of Survivor as I am moving coming up here. That's all I do is watch old Survivor seasons and pack. Potting and packing. That's the big P's.
What a combo.
Yeah. So I'll have one more for you, the 20th best season of Survivor, and then Taron Armstrong will be taking you through the 19th best season of Survivor in 2 weeks, and then I will be back with you for the 18th best season of Survivor. Let me tell you a little bit about what else is coming up here on RHAP. All right. Clarence Black will join us on Talking with T-Bird. Can't wait to catch up with Clarence. Lindsay, Clarence has one of the most famous appearances on Rob and Akiva Need a Podcast of all time as well.
Yes, famously. Loves Akiva.
Loves Akiva. Yes. Okay. So we will see. Clarence could be on a roll, and I could be in for a roasting coming up.
Are you gonna bring Akiva?
I don't know. Yeah. Be on the lookout for that. We had so much fun on Tuesday night this week. Mike Bloom, Chappelle, and I, we did a out without play out list of Survivor's greatest GIFs. And it was a lot of fun. Watch the video, see what came in. Haley, do you have any favorite Survivor GIFs?
Do I have any Oh my gosh, you're putting me on the spot here.
It's okay if you don't.
I can't think of any. Again, it's
how about you, Lindsay?
So I already listened to it this morning, so I feel like I'm cheating. There were a bunch that you guys mentioned that I had never actually thought about, like the Angelina one where she's doing the ladder thing. Like that was pretty good.
That's me trying to get through the Survivor Top 40 season countdown.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Then we got one more piece of Chappelle news that I will be talking about. Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Of course, people have been dying for me to talk about this. So we're going to talk about Love and Hip Hop Atlanta on the RHAP Rewind with Sasha Joseph is going to join Chappelle and me. We're talking about season 1, episode 4 of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. I'm going to watch it in the RHAP Patreon Discord first, and then see what's going on there as we continue to watch classic episodes of reality TV with Chappelle on the RHAP Rewind. It's so much fun with Haley a couple of weeks ago and Shannon Gus talking about America's Next Top Model.
That was so good.
Was a classic. 90 Day Fiance, Happily Ever After. Puya and I are having a lot of fun there. So check that out if you follow that TLC show. And then I also got to speak this week with Sean Clements from the Hollywood Handbook podcast. He has been binging all sorts of different Survivor seasons. Check out our conversation there with a very funny guy, Sean Clements from Hollywood Handbook. Tuesday night, I will be back with the patrons, the new patrons of our HAP. It's our monthly orientation meet and greet where I'm going to walk the patrons through all of the features of being a patron, and then also do a little Q&A meet and greet. Get to say hello to our newest patrons. Existing patrons are welcome to pop in as well. Invitation will be coming soon on Patreon. Of course, so much going on Patreon, including our weekly feedback show this weekend. be on the lookout for Amanda Danforth and Ariel Gomez talking more about Survivor Africa, plus patron 5 for 5, everything with the patron community, so much more at robbinswebsite.com/patron. Of course, catch any offers from our sponsors at robbinswebsite.com/offers. And you can also hit the subscribe button if you're watching us here on YouTube or however you get your favorite podcast. And be sure to check out our social media accounts, including the RHAP Instagram, where our hosts have been taking over, like Haley Strong did a couple of weeks ago.
I had so much fun.
Yeah. What'd you make that day?
I made cheddar buttermilk biscuits, and then I made a breakfast sandwich on the biscuit.
Wow.
It was
Amazing.
good. I love a biscuit.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Scott. All right. Lindsay, of 2 podcasts, what's coming up for you?
Yeah, so we've got Simpsons Then and Now. We are talking about an old episode and a new episode every couple of weeks. We just released our 50th episode, so very excited.
Oh, congratulations.
That. Yeah, so it's very exciting. And then the great Kirsten McInnes and I, every week we are talking about BoJack Horseman on BoJack Horsepod. We're starting to hit some very heavy episodes, so join us over there.
There's heavy episodes of BoJack Horseman?
Oh my God, Rob. It is like the most depressing show in all the land,
man.
but it is also incredibly moving and very powerful. So we are trying to walk that line.
Wow.
Yes.
I didn't even know this.
Yeah, I know. It's a show about like weird horse stuff, but also it is about, depression and mental health and all kinds of good stuff.
Wow. Okay. I should check it out.
Yes, with that big endorsement from me, BoJack Horsepod.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Lindsay, where can people, are you on the social media? I know you're on Facebook.
Yeah, I'm on Facebook. That's it. And barely now. I am not on Twitter. And every day I feel like it's a great decision.
Such a good decision. So good.
Never regret it, even once.
Yeah, that's so good.
Yeah.
Well, Lindsay, always fun to get to talk with you about Survivor. And this was so great of you spending so much time with us tonight.
It was such a blast. I'm so happy I got to do this. Very, very much enjoyed it.
Okay. Haley Strong, what's next for you?
What's next for me?
We're going to start texting.
We're going to start texting. I'd
Finally.
say every 1 to 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
What is up for me? Top Chef podcast with Kurt Clark and LaTanya Starks. We're having a rip-roaring great time over there. The Bachelorette starting in about 2 weeks. I can't believe it. Our hiatus is coming to an end. And there's been a lot of news going on in Bachelor Nation, so Amy and I might be back even before then with like a little news update. Other than that, I'm just, chilling, hanging out, staring at things, listening to other
Staring
things.
at things?
Yeah.
What are you staring at?
The computer, the TV,
not the sun,
Nintendo
right?
Switch. No, not that dumb. But if you want to, I, unlike Lindsay, have made the bad decisions to join Twitter and Instagram. And if you want to follow me there at @strong_, and if you like books and or reading or looking at pictures of books, well, follow me on my Bookstagram at the Strong Library on Instagram.
Wow. Okay.
My latest review is about The Flight Attendant, which is now a show. So if you watch the show,
and T-Bird's a flight attendant.
Exactly. I hope she's not this kind of flight attendant.
Well, I don't know. I haven't seen the show. All right. So thank you so much for watching us. Hopefully you checked out parts 1 and 2. We'll be back next week for our Survivor Australia panel, the Australian Outback. And then, of course, check out Talking with T-Bird with Clarence coming up later this weekend. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.